Today we're going to be talking about how do you decide what you're going to be charging for your product or service, and how do you know it's the right amount? So a lot of the people that I coach, they come to me with questions like, hey, I'm offering a certain service, I'm offering a certain thing, and I honestly have no idea whether or not my price is appropriate. I'm just throwing a price out there and just seeing if they say yes. I don't know if it's right. I don't know if it's good. How do I decide? It's not that hard, and I'll help you decide exactly what your price should be. So if you're offering a service, let's use a simple example, one I use often. If you're using a lead generation service, a marketing service, Facebook ad service, something like that. Let's say you want to charge a certain amount of money per month plus whatever the ad spend is. And maybe your brain has conditioned you to say, I'm going to charge a certain percentage of ad spend, or I'm going to charge a couple $1,000s a month plus ad spend. And you're not sure whether or not you're pitching the right thing or the right amount in terms of cost. Well, here's how you figure it out. You're going to dive into your niche. You're going to decide, who are you specifically offering it to? And that's number one. If you don't know who you're offering it to, it's really hard to determine whether or not the price is right. If you're asking to drive business for a dentist and he's making $250,000 a year and he's doing quite well, you're just looking to scale, a couple $1,000s a month is no big deal. If you're talking to a struggling business owner who's barely getting, $10,000 a month in total revenue, asking $2,000 a month to just design and run their ads, that seems like an absorbent amount of money. Seems just crazy. So it's very important to choose a niche that you know is going to be able to pay and that you can research. Then start researching. How much is a client worth? How much is, each sale worth? How much is the lifetime value of that client? And think through that, really do the math, figure it out. Because if you're going to be getting them clients, let's say you average 5 clients a month, and that's closed clients on your leads. If you know that that would be your average, then you can very simply do the math. If that client's lifetime value is $10,000 to the company, and you close 5 a month, or they're closing 5 a month on your leads, then that's $50,000 a month in total revenue that you're bringing in with your leads. If you're bringing in $50,000 in total value, is it unheard of to ask for $2,000? No. And wouldn't be unreasonable to ask for $5,000. The important thing is to understand 2 things, not just the total revenue, but also what's their net profit. If they have narrow margins, that $50,000 doesn't seem like all that much money anymore. If they've got huge margins, then asking for a much larger percentage is quite reasonable. It's important to do your research on your niche and understand what that value, the value of a prospect, the value of a client is, because once you've got that basic data, the pricing becomes very simple, very simple. You want to take a look at the overall net profit that you're bringing to your client. What is the net profit you're bringing to your client, right? Once you determine that, decide what's a fair percentage of the additional profit that you're bringing that should go to you. It should not be more than 50%. That's, hopefully pretty obvious. They probably aren't going to give you more than half of the additional money that you're bringing in. But depending on the niche and depending on the scenario, anywhere from 10 to 50%. That's the reality. And part of it is going to be how good are you at convincing them that the value you're bringing can perpetuate additional value long term through referral, through additional things like that. So maybe 50,000 only represents the front end value in terms of that one particular client, but maybe they have a follow-up program that allows them to get an additional 50% out of each and every client that they have. Now you have additional knowledge. You're armed with additional information that will allow you to appropriately price your service up front. So you want to know, what does your niche, what do they make per client? How many clients per month are you likely to bring them? And then you want to do some math, scratch it out, figure out what's fair. And then the reality is you can test that against what are similar services asking, right? talk to people within your niche and present to them your offer and your price and see what they respond with. And these are all options for you to figure out what is exactly the right thing. Now, another thing to consider is when you're brand new, you don't want to go to the top of the market, not the top of the market, because you have no evidence. You have no, social proof. And that's very important. That momentum helps you charge and command top of market rates. So, the reality is if you're just starting out, it's okay to do a little bit of work for a very low price or free so that you can gather the data that you need to start charging the appropriate rate to additional clients moving forward. That initial data gathering, even if you had to do some work for free, will be invaluable to your additional business down the road so that your offer is tight and your pricing is on point and you're going to make way more money as a result. So hopefully this has helped. Hopefully you'll be able to take that information, use that, and nail down a specific price so that when you go and you pitch your offer, you're asking with confidence. Confidence is key. All right, go get some sales.